So hello and welcome back to Gumardee's Coins and Banknotes, and in today's video we're looking at Tanzania's first coins. So they first issued coins in 1966, and here we have the East African shilling which they replaced. So there are there are 4 coins, actually 5 coins. I'll put the 1 cent that were in circulation from about 1906 to actually 1921 the shilling was issued, but we'll go into that when we make a video of that. So they had 5 coins in circulation at the time of independence in 1966, but they only issued 4 coins in 1966, and in 1977 they did issue a 10 cent, but I just don't have that coin. That is a scallop shaped coin with a zebra on it, although there are various species of zebra. Okay, so they issued a 5, a 20, a 50, and a 1 shilling. And as you can see, they changed the size of the 5 cent and the 5 centy to reflect the reduction in the purchasing power of the coin. They didn't worry about the 10 cent or 10 centy. They just issued a 20. So a few countries have done this. Belgium done it with their francs. They got rid of about 1980s, they got rid of the 10 franc. So then they had a 5 and a 20 franc in circulation up until 2002 when they introduced the euro. And probably some other countries, but I just can't remember it now. And so in 1977 they introduced the 10 centy. Okay, the animals on the 5 centy is the Indo-Pacific sailfish. So this is a type of marlin. And it's Indo-Pacific based on the fin. So, okay, get the knife, who cares? Threaten it again. Okay, because the fin is thick up the top and thin here. Most of the other marlins have a large spike here, and it reduces in the fin size as you go back. So that's why that is an Indo-Pacific sailfish. On the back, we had the first president, Race Krenza. No, that just means first president, and his name is Julius Nyerere. So he passed away in 1999. So and he was pretty much a despot, a dictator at the time period. On the side, we had 2 plants, which I'm not too sure which one they are. And this is all in Swahili. So Swahili is the national language of Tanzania. It's also spoken in a few other countries, like it's a national language of Burundi, Kenya. But there are a lot of other minority languages that are spoken in those countries. And I've got these 2 because this one's a little bit of a slight off center, or maybe just a slightly larger flame because of the doubling on the rim. Pretty common, but just an interesting thing to get. Okay, we have the 20 centy. As you can see, it has an ostrich. So there are 2 species of ostrich at the moment. There's the common ostrich, which this one is, and it lives in Tanzania. And then there's the Somali ostrich, which lives in Somalia and Ethiopia. And this consists of 3 subspecies, but I'm not too sure if that's going to be divided later on into species. I need more data. And this one's 1976. So if you go to Numastar and look at the mintage figures, 1966 is the most common. And these Seneti coins were in the 5, 10, and 20 issued up until 1984, when inflation withdrew them from circulation in the late 80s. So this one is mintage of 10 million. Looking at the mintage figures, looks like 1983 is what you want to get with 50,000. But we're not too sure if that one actually exists. Okay, then we have the 50 cent. 50 centi, Sini, so you can learn how to pronounce or probably even just recognize the denomination in Swahili. Once again, it has the first president on it. This one's almost uncirculated. And this one on Numis though says it has a hare, a rabbit. But going through all the rabbits and hares that are on Wikipedia, seeing their geographic distribution, this is more likely a African savanna hare, which has a narrow it's widespread throughout most of Tanzania, or it is the Smith's red rock hare, and that has a narrow distribution in the center of Tanzania. So this is not a rabbit, just a hare, which is a more solitary creature, and you can see that the snout is a lot shorter than a hare, than a rabbit, should I say. So hares generally have long ears, shorter snout, and are more solitary. And rabbits have longer snouts, shorter ears, and like to congregate in groups. That's what I've read about them. There might be some variation in rabbits and hares, but they don't occur all over Africa or all over Asia, and sparsely in Europe for most species. Okay, the 1 shilling we have has the Ururu torch, which symbolizes independence. So you can actually look at this up. And in Swahili it says Mwenge wa Ururu, says torch of freedom. Now I butchered that because I've never actually heard it being pronounced, so it probably is pronounced a lot different than my Australian English pronunciation. It says Mojo Shilingi, so Shilingi Mojo. So obviously you put the denomination behind the actual currency. So in Australia we would say 1 shilling, they'd say shilling 1. So, and once again we have the president. Yeah, so these coins are interesting but also boring at the same time. The only interesting fact about it is the reverse of the coins, which has the animals on it. The front of the coin has the portrait of the first president. Okay, so then these were in circulation till the late 80s. And then in 1988, they changed the metal composition of the 50. So they got rid of the smaller denominations. The 50 went from a copper nickel to a nickel-plated steel, and then they stopped issuing mintage figures. So this, and they also changed the portrait of the president. So this is the first and that's the second president. So his name's Ali Hassan Mwinyi. So he's president up until 1995. And also they reduced the size of the 1 shilling in 1987. So the design's the same. They reduced it from a 27.7 millimeter to a 23.5 millimeter coin. Also changed it from a copper nickel, which is this one. You can see it tones quite well, to a nickel plated steel. So nickel doesn't tone fairly well. Do I have a magnet? No. They also changed the present. So that's pretty normal. And here we have the first 5 shillings that they produced. So it has corn, wheat, bananas, and buffalo down to below, which are important crops in Tanzania. So this is a commemorative one, commemorating 10 years of independence. And it has the first president again. It has a mintage of 1 million. And then they just issued a normal coin just with the date down below. Design's pretty much the same from 1972 to 80. And this one is 31.5 millimeters, about 13 grams or 13.5 grams. Then in 1987, they reduced it to 27.5 millimeters, 8.5 grams roughly. But in 1990, they changed all their coins to nickel-plated steel. And the reduction in size coin was pretty similar in size to the 1 shilling. But I don't have that coin. So basically, they got rid of the large coins. So they roughly had these coins in circulation. And then they issued high denominations. In 1987, they issued a 10 shilling, just as the coat of arms. So it has the Uru torch in yellow, has the flag, has some sickle, and looks like an axe that symbolises agriculture. And down below we have water symbolising the coast and oceans and lakes. A male and female. And Uru na Umuja. And Kilimanjaro is the actual mountain that you can see that they're all standing on. So the initial coin was copper and nickel. And then in 1990 they changed it to a nickel plated steel. So obviously that reduces the cost of the coin. And on the back we had the first president of Tanzania. Has his name at the top. And it just says first president of Tanzania down below. So that's the 10 shilling. And then in 1981 they issued a 20 shilling. So here's the 20 shilling. And this commemorates 20 years of independence. So down below we have the denomination. We have 1961, 1981 around the side. And the inscription just says 20 years of independence. So you can see the denomination Ishirini is 20. That Uhuru, probably freedom. So probably 20 years of freedom. We have the coat of arms. Once again, on the obverse, so this is the front of the coin, we have the first president. So this coin here has a mintage of 997,000, so quite low. I doubt it very much. It was very common in circulation. More likely they were still using the banknote pretty extensively. And Numis has another coin issued in 1986, which is the larger coin. So this is 34 millimeters. The 1986 one's 38 millimeters. So I doubt it very much that would have been issued for circulation. It's just too big. 38 millimeters, it's like Pebble State's coin. And then in 1990, they issued this coin. I actually got this coin in change in Australia for some reason. Someone spent it, probably as a 20 or 50 cent. So I'm not too sure why I got it in change. Not many people from Tanzania. I've never met anyone from Tanzania in Australia. Okay, so this one has elephants. So the African elephant. And on the back, we just have the second president. So pretty much in circulation at the time, we would have had, so in the late 80s, early 90s, so 90 to 93, these are the coins would have been used in circulation. Although the 5 shillings would have been a lot smaller, and the Seniti coins would mostly no longer have been in circulation. So their denominations. And then later on in 1993, they issued 100. 1996, they issued a 50. I've made another video on these. Then in 98, they issued a 200. In 2014, they issued 500. Now I'd say the currency's been pretty stable against the Australian dollar for the past 10 years, but against the US dollar, it's losing value quite quickly, actually. So I wouldn't be surprised if they issued in the next 10 years, they issued a 1,000 shilling as the currency continues to slide against the US dollar. Anyway, these are the history of Tanzanian currency after independence. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you very much. Have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time. I hope this helps you with your collecting of coins and banknotes. Thank you and goodbye.